Hello and welcome back. So we have finished doing all the walls for our main floor of our house. And now we're going to move into doing our doors, and then we'll follow that up with windows. So when you're looking at doors, there's a couple of things just kind of keep in back of your mind a little bit. You are required by building code that you have one door that is somewhere in the exterior of the house that is 3 feet wide. Typically, we do this as the front door. But it could be a back door, it could be a door into the garage, but there just has to be one door that's 3 feet wide. We're going to go with typical convention and make it the front door. Then, if we look at other rooms, most of the time when you're looking at doors, we use different sizes for different rooms. And doors are sized in 2-inch increments. So if you have a 3-foot door, you would then have 2'10", 2'8", 2'6", 2'4", 2'2", 2', and so forth. Go in either direction there. Typically, what I like to do is, other than my front door, my other exterior doors, I like to do it 2'8" wide. My bedroom doors, I also like to do 2'8", primarily because mattresses can be kind of tricky to get around tight corners. And then bathroom doors, I prefer to do 2'6" when possible. And there are a lot of homes out there that have bathroom doors that are only 2 feet wide. This is fine, but it does make it tricky when you do the remodel on that bathroom to get your tub out. Your tubs are 30 inches wide, and so you end up having to cut the tub into pieces to get it out. And it's just one of those things that I particularly do in my design, is to make things a little easier, so things will be changed out a little more commonly. All right, so we're going to start with doors. All residential doors are 6'8" tall. You can order them taller, but the standard is 6'8". So to do that, we're going to go to the architectural tab. We're going to go to the door family. It's going to ask me to save my project, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And we'll give that a name. Let's see, we'll call this one 3,000. So that's the size of the square footage. And we'll just go with that for now. We'll talk about naming conventions a little bit more a little later. All right, so what we're going to do now, we get that save to happen. And it does take it a minute to do that sometimes, so we'll just let it work its magic there and get everything saved down. While we're waiting for that to finish saving, doors can give your house a lot of character, and so we want to treat them such. When you look at your style, you want to be kind of consistent. We're looking at trying to keep things in harmony with one another, especially on the exterior. So when we're going to place these doors, you want to kind of keep that in your mind as well, as what is the style of the door you're looking for. I personally like Craftsman style. They're a little more straightforward, a little simpler to build, but just as strong and just as pretty. So while we're in the door command here, you notice your properties will have changed. It will have selected a door. Whatever door randomly comes up was usually the last one was used. In this case, I have a Craftsman front door. But within your template, there are just a single swing door, and I'll use that as well. There's also some other doors in here we'll talk about as we go through. But your doors are all kind of listed here. Now, when you look at the sizes of these doors or their names, for instance, this 2-panel interior door, it has a 2068. That means this door is 2'0" wide, 6'8" tall. The next one down is 2'0" wide, 8'0" tall. There's 2'6". So as it goes through, that's kind of how you want to read these names a little bit. That's this width and then the height. All your interior doors are then be 1 3/8 inch thick. Your exterior doors are 1 3/4 inch thick. It's just kind of standard thicknesses there. But as you kind of work through those, you can kind of choose those doors. So I'm going to go back down here to my front door and see if I can get that to cooperate. Now, when you're working on doors, every door and every family in Revit can be modified. To do that, we're going to go to Edit Type, and we're going to go look at what's already set up for us. So we know this door is 3 feet wide. It has a side light, which is a glass window that's 1 foot wide. The height is 6'8". The transom, which is the window above the door, is 1'6" tall. The thickness is 1 3/4 inches. We have hardware, which is where your doorknob is located. It's 2'10". That's pretty standard. It's also the height of your handrails. So kind of keep that in the back of your head a little bit. Something to remember there. It is offset in from the edge of the door by 2 3/8 inch. We have some trim features there as well. It is currently painted white. We can change that a little bit later. But this is our door. So we're going to go with it. We're going to hit OK. And now we're going to place that door. Now our entry is right here. Now when I'm placing this door, notice I got the null sign. Doors have to be placed in a wall. So as soon as you get to a wall, you're going to see a door. So I'm going to zoom up on this a little bit. Now, residential doors swing into the space. Commercial doors swing out. That's a fire code setting. So we just want to remember that. So we want our door to swing into the space, and we want the door to swing in and towards a wall. But primarily because it makes it so that you have a place to put your outlets and your switches, so you can have things easily accessible. And I want to kind of center this in this space. So I'm going to use the dimensions above, and it's going to be a little off. So we're going to have to adjust that after the fact. So I've got 1'7" on the left, 8 inches on the right. Doesn't seem quite what we're looking for, but we're just going to place it in here. And now we have that in position. All right, let's talk about this door a little bit. When you select the door, you have these arrows that let you change the way it swings and the direction of the swing. So in this case, this will be a left-hand door. Excuse me, this is a left-hand door. Then a right. It's judged by where the hinges are. And you can have that work whichever way feels good for you. Our plan shows it swinging to the right here, so we'll just go ahead and swing in. So that means you then grab this doorknob with your right hand, and when you push that door open, then you walk through. So it's a right hand or right hinge door. This is a left hand or left hinge door, and it's usually done in the direction you're traveling. Then we have our two side windows here on the side, and we now have our dimensions down here. We're just going to make these kind of match out a little bit by changing where that dimension is. I'm going to grab that little blue dot, and I see I have 1 foot on one side and 8 inches on the other. So now I can take and use my arrow keys on my keyboard and shift until I center that door window combination in the middle of that space. Again, it doesn't have to be. It's just one of those things that look nice. The only thing in the world that's symmetrically balanced is things that people make. Most of the things that are natural are not symmetrical. So it just kind of depends on what your feelings are on that. But this looks kind of good to be centered. And I'm going to jump into 3D. Just click on the tab at the top again. And so I can see that space. And I'll go to the front. And then we'll zoom up a little bit. You can see what that door looks like. So there's the transom above, the two side lights on left and right sides. There's your doorknob aperture with the deadbolt. So it's quite detailed at this point. And we're starting to create the look that this house will have as we get moving through there. Going back to the plan, click on the tab again. And we're ready to start placing other doors. Now, as I was saying, I usually like to do my other doors at 2'8". So I'm going to do a door. Click on our properties, and then we'll go look for our doors. And I'm going to go to my Craftsman here, the single swing door. And we're going to click on that, and then to go again to edit type. And look at what we have here. So this Craftsman door is one that can be changed as you kind of work through it. Right now it's set at 3 feet. So I want to have one that's 2'8". So I'm not going to do anything with a change to a family type until I duplicate it. Then I'm going to add a rename onto this so I can kind of look at what that's going to be. So this is going to be a 2868 Craftsman exterior door. And that name is so I know what it is. So you want to make it so it's clear to you. You're the one that will see that name. So I'll name it so I know what I'm getting. And then they come down to the width, change the 3 to a 2, and the 0 to an 8, and apply that, and hit OK. And now I have a Craftsman door that's without the windows on the side, and I'm going to place that. So here's my little entryway into the house, and I'm going to come place that in there, and I'm finding it's a little tight. Doesn't fit so good there. Well, I got to make some choices there then. So I'm just going to place it temporarily here, and I might have to come back and adjust this door, but I want it to swing the opposite way, so I can either place it and use the flip arrows, or I can use the space bar, and that will let that door change swing direction. And then place that one right there. According to plan, I also have a man door, and that's what these are. If it's a single door, they're called a man door, meaning a man or woman can walk through the door. So I'm going to place another one here, approximately in this location. Where's the side entrance to the garage? And then I'll have garage doors here at the front on this. So just kind of a way to exit out the garage without opening the main doors. And that's probably a good idea for those who will eventually own homes. You really don't want your garage doors to be left open. It's a good, easy way for someone going by to get a quick look at what's in your garage and look for the opportunity to take what they would like. And we don't want them to take your stuff, so it's best to keep the door closed. All right, now I've got my exterior doors done. I'm doing this direction. And your plan shows swinging doors or French doors in the living room, in the kitchen, and in the master suite. I'll probably do those as patio doors. They're a little less expensive, and they still look as well, but they don't swing into the room and take up space. So let's go ahead and put those doors in. And again, we're going to come back and adjust some things here in a minute. But we're going to kind of work exterior doors first, then go back and fix the interiors. So now I'm going to go look for a sliding glass door. See if I have one loaded in here for you. And there is an exterior double glass door. Now, when you look at the size, this first one here is 4068. That means the part of the door that opens is 2 feet. Again, that works. You can get through 2 feet. I typically will go maybe a 5068 on these, just so it's a little bit more roomy, a little bit easier to get through. And I'll start placing these doors. There's going to be one here in the kitchen. Now, this is a French door, by the way. Double glass French door. Again, they swing into the space, so we have to be aware of that. So I'll place this one about here. There's another one in the living room, and I'm not worried about where they're exactly located. I'll adjust those as we go through the rooms. One goes there, and then one in the master bedroom will go here. And that just gives me a little placement for where those doors are going to be. And we'll come back through and then adjust these, because when we adjust the doors, it tends to be that we have to adjust the walls as well. Now I'm going to do interior doors. And as I said, bedroom doors, I like to do at 2'8". These are the single panel doors. So I'm going to go find a panel door. And see what I've got here to work with. Well, I'm not really seeing what I really want, and so I'm going to go load one in. Now, the easiest thing for me to do is to take this door here and change it so that it matches and create a new one. I'm actually going to do another method here. You do have a library that comes with Revit that makes it really easy to find what you want. And to do that, you're going to hit Edit Type, and instead of doing Duplicate, we're going to go to Load. So go to Load, it takes us to the library. Then come down to Doors. It's all alphabetical. And I see I've got residential, commercial, and hardware. So I'm going to go residential. And I'm looking for an interior door. So if I go through here, if I click on a door, it will typically... Give me my preview plane. It's not coming up for some reason. Usually I'll show you a preview. And... if For some reason, it's not doing that. Let me see if I can, get back in there. There it is. So you get a little preview of what those doors look like. Go back in here. There's that door. Barn doors, if you want to use barn doors. Craftsman style door. That's that exterior door we just used. This is the front entry door that we had. So you can get a preview of kind of what you're looking at and get a feel for what that door is going to look like. But there are various styles and types of doors in here. Again, you need to kind of pick the ones you like. And that really is dependent upon what you want to use there. This is a pocket door. That means this door slides into the wall. They do have the good place to be. We may end up using one maybe in the powder room, but we'll look at that just a little bit. And I'm just kind of going through, seeing if there's a door that I like that matches what I'm doing. And I'm really not seeing what I like. But so let's say if I need an interior door. So we have all these interior doors to choose from. Single door here. And once I find the door I want, let's say I decide to go with, which one do we want to go with here? It's been interior. So I like this door here, which I don't, by the way, but let's say that I do. Maybe I like this one. That's kind of Craftsman-like. This is a 3-panel door, meaning there's 3 panels. There's 1, 2, 3, 4-panel, different type of 4-panel, 6-panel. This is more common in colonial style homes when you do the panel doors. So you find the door you want. You hit open at the bottom of the window. It's now going to say, okay, what size you want to load in. Well, I want a 2.668 door. And you can stretch these out a little bit more if you want to see them better. You look for the thickness. And again, these are internationally used, so you'll see some different thicknesses on there. You want some about 1 3/8. And if you don't see what you want, again, you can edit this and get to where you want. But something like that, and then you would just hit OK. It's then loaded into your file, and now this is the door you're working with. Okay. So if all is well and that's what you want to use, great, you're set to go. But and you can just start hitting OK and placing this door like you would any of the others. Well, I kind of want to go back and use this Craftsman type door here. Just a little 2-panel door. So let's start with the 2.668. It's a little closer in size. And then I use this door. So instead of loading it from the library, I'm going to take one I have and then modify it. Then hit Edit Type. And again, before I modify, I'm going to hit Duplicate. Change the name. Now the 2 means it's a copy, so I'm going to take the copy out. I'm going to change the 6 to an 8. So now it's a 2.868 door. I hit OK. Come down to the width. And I find it's a 2'6" door. So I'm going to change the 6 to an 8. Hit Apply. Hit OK. And this is going to be used for my bedroom. So I'm going to have one. Oh, wait, I got the pocket door. I do not want the pocket door there. I want this guy right here. So I'm going to do it one more time. Edit, duplicate, change the name so it matches the size. 8 inches there. Take the 2 out because I don't need that. Come down to my size category. Add 2 inches there. 2'8". Apply, hit OK. And now I've got a swing door. So one goes into the master suite. That's the only bedroom we have. But I'm going to go ahead and, because the library is what it is, it can be used as a guest bedroom. I'm going to put a door there. And we have a dining room area here. I'll go ahead and use the door. So I'm going to use spacebar again to change the swing. Then put it here. A little bit wider door into there makes it a little easier for carrying large things in. Laundry room door is over here. I'm going to use that as a 6'8" as well, just because it makes it easier to get washing machines in and out if you have to repair them. And then I'm going to switch to the 2'6" door. Just go back up to 1 and change this is now then be to this closet. And it's a little bit snug, but that's okay. And then into the powder room. We have a door here, so I have to flip that. And then this one might get changed here. This one might be the one I go to a pocket door with. And I explain why when we start laying the bathroom out. Then if we look at our plan, we've got, so that's our laundry room, our entry, our closet, our powder room, our dining room. We've got our library. There's a door on the stair. I'm just going to put a 2-6 door there, even though I'm not quite sure how that stair is going to be exactly yet. So, no, there doesn't be a door there. There's a door here on the closet. So I'll put a 2-6 door there. And again, that might change down depending on what we work out here. There's another door into this powder room. We'll flip that. It's a little toilet closet there. We got a bypass door here for the laundry. And the closets don't have any door there. And cool. I think that's all the doors on this floor. So what we want to do now is go and fine tune our placement. So get them all placed. Now I'm going to go through and make them all work. And I'm going to start down here in this corner and kind of work my way around. So we've got the master bath here. This door is in place. It is not centered in the space because we have a water closet here and we need a little space. I'm going to click on the door and it tells me I'm 11 inches from the corner. Okay, the minimum that you can have there is 4. And I like 4. 4 works good. It gives you room for that doorknob so it doesn't ram into the wall. So I'm going to change the 11 or whatever value it is on yours. Change that to 4 inches. So I want you to have from the corner to the door 4 inches on each of your placements. That's kind of what we're looking at here. So we're just going to go through and fix all those. 4 inches from the corner. That gives you a little bit of space over here. You'll find that that's valuable as we go through and start doing things like that. This closet here, same thing. A little bit different here. I'm going to change that 6 though to 4 just because that's the minimum. And that will help kind of center that in the space a little bit for this little closet. This closet will get adjusted because, again, I want to use this room as a potential bedroom if I need. And so we'll be looking at some wall changes as we go through. Let's see. In our master suite, we have this door up here. And I want to kind of center that in here. Well, look at that. It did. It's nice and centered. So it's 4'2", 4'2". It's in that wall, pretty centered. It's off a little bit if you want to go to the outside wall. It's going to be a little bit off, but exterior-wise, it's going to look about right. So I'm just going to leave it right there. Same with this door. It's pretty much centered in that space. So I'm going to leave that. And we're good with that. Back to the bedroom door here. Again, I want 4 inches here. I'm going to move this little blue dot because I want to get a little more accurate leveling on where I'm at. So if that's at 2 3/4, if I make this 4 to the corner for the jamb, and then I can come back and adjust my measure just a little bit, hopefully. Maybe. Does not want to grab that corner. When that's happened, go to another corner if it's not grabbing the one you want it to. Sometimes they get a little stubborn. All right, so I'm off by about a 1/2 inch, which is the thickness of the gypsum board there. So in that case, now the door is centered in the space. So I'm okay with that. And I'll take that dimension back out. All right, so that door is where I want it. I did put a door here. I might as well do that because I should. Back to our 2-6 door. Place it there. Cancel. Cancel again. Select the door. And again, I'm looking to center it. So I have to find the blue dot, bring it back down, put it where it's supposed to be. And again, I want to go to the finished face. So I'm going to bring that back out. So we've got 10 inches there and 11 or 12 inches there. So I'm going to select the door. and then go down with my down arrows, 1 inch, and so it's centered. Now, technically, I could make this door wider, but sometimes you want these side areas where you can just kind of pigeonhole things away so they're not directly out in the line of sight for everybody. That just doesn't quite look centered, but because it's not. Oh my goodness, it's not quite where I want it. I'm going to go up now. Okay, it's got about a 3/4 difference, so that's about where we're going to put that. Make sure it's as good as it's going to be. Again, it doesn't have to be dead on exact. We do not dimension the location of interior doors. They are placed where the contractor can do it. Just kind of how that works. All right, now we're going to move over here. Again, looking at 4 inches. We got 6. So change that to 4. And if you want to go more than 4, that's fine. I just want to make all these fixes now, and then I will adjust them as we go if need be. Sometimes your room needs a little bit more space, but the idea is to not put switches behind the door. And so if I make these changes now, I'm least likely to try and put a light switch there or something like that. And we'll change this one. Now you could do this as you go if you know exactly where you want everything. But I like to just go through, make sure I've got everything where I need it to be, and then worry about other stuff later. It just works a little better for me. And you'll find what works for you as well as you get going. So I'm just going to simplify this one down. And so it's a little more clear. Now I've got my problem, and this is one we started with. This is my first door. So let's see, make sure we got this guy in place. 6 inches. I'm going to go ahead and leave that. It's a heavier door. Let's be okay for that one. So this way I'm going to leave it 6 inches. It's an exterior door. It's going to get slammed a lot. It's going to get bumped into. So a little bit extra wall is probably going to be a good thing there. Now, my problem is this. If I look at this door, the trim or the molding doesn't fit in that space. That's why you want the 4 inches. Most trim around a door is 2 to 3 inches. So you need some room to work that in there. So I need to decide what room I don't need as much space in. And I'm going to look at this guy here, and it's a 3'2". And I'm going to go ahead and drop that to 3 feet and see if that makes a difference. A little bit. I could probably go a little bit more. So I'm going to go 2 foot. So 3 foot, that's 36 inches. If I change that to 32 inches, then I have enough space in here for things to do what I need them to do. And it just does take a little bit of saying, this is what I want, this is what you then do, and kind of figure out your solution for it. There we go. All right, now I've got room for my trim here. I've got extra on this side, so now it's a matter of getting these to line up. So again, arrow key is the easiest way. It usually works for the most part. But if I make this 5 inches, then this other side will be 5 inches. And now it's centered in the space. And it works well. It's got a little bit extra room to work. And I'm happy with it. Now this door doesn't fit now. And that's our 206A. So this is going to change. It's a closet. So I'm going to drop that down to a 2068 by just selecting that. And that changes that door. So now I can shift it over. Get my 4 inches there. It's not about 3 inches on this side. Yeah, it's a little bit off. Being exact. But if I 3.5 and 3 3/4, I can live with that. Actually, I'd rather have this a 4. So we're just going to bump that back up. And that should work just fine. It is just a linen closet, so I'm okay with that. And we got a little opening, just an opening nest. We'll show you the openings here in a minute. There's a couple ways of doing that. One more door to fix. And this is for that laundry room. And there are the doors for this house. Now, I do have a couple doors I haven't put in yet, and that is my garage doors. So let's go ahead and get those in. For those, and then go back architecture tab, door family, edit type, and load. I'm going to load these in. So garage doors, you got to kind of search through them, find them. Again, they are going to be hopefully in there alphabetical. Sometimes they don't come across as quite as nice. Let's see where they went. Oh, okay, they're numbered. So here's an overhead door. This is an overhead. I don't have a Craftsman loaded in here. It's a Tudor style. That kind of is a little Craftsman-y. I'm going to go and use this Tudor style just because. So I'm going to open that up. All right, garage doors. This door starts at 8 feet wide. 8 feet is the width of a standard parking stall at your Target or your Walmart. It's tight. It's a very tight fit. Your door heights tend to be 8 feet. They can be 7. 8 feet just feels a little better to me. But I'm going to adjust this one. So in order to do that, what do I want to do here? Well, I think I want that to be, it's 25 feet wide. I think I want to be a 9 foot wide door. So I'm going to duplicate. I'm going to come in here to the name, and I'm going to look at the very front of this name. This name has a 9039. Not sure where the 39 came from, but I'm going to change this to 90 and call that what I want. So hit OK there. Change the width to 9. Hit apply and hit OK. And this door is going to come in to my plan. Now, the door, that little outline you're seeing there, that little area, that is the door when it's open. So that needs to be on the inside of your garage, not the outside. This will be all the doors on the outside opens up and hangs off the space. This is the way you want it to go. So one there, and I want one here. It's a 2-car garage. Now I got to place them. Okay, so I'm going to start with the one door on the left. And I need from the wall to the door a minimum of 2 feet. And I want that on both sides. So I'm going to make that happen. So 2 and enter. Okay. And what that does, it gives you enough wall for shear strength. Again, this is a door that's going to take a lot of abuse. It's a heavy door. It's got to go up and down on a chain. You just want that wall to reinforce the strength of it. So now I've got my doors in place. Let's jump back to 3D and take a look at what that looks like. So there's my 2 garage doors. There's my entry door. And what I'm wanting to happen is when you put your doors in, they should visually align up with the main house. Now they do right now, but this is not their final position. They have to drop down almost 2 feet from where they currently are. And we'll take care of that when we get the foundation in. But the doors are positioned where I want them. I just need now to kind of keep working through and tweaking things as I go and finalizing things and making it the way it needs to be built. All right, so there's your front entrance with doors. There's your floor plan on the main floor with doors. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to place windows. Okay, so that'll be our next video. And so we'll see you in just a moment.